everybody come on up. Speakers, come up here right beside me or behind me. What we're going to do, we're going to have a series of speakers, and we'll run through them and introduce them as we go. And then we'll go over and cut that ribbon right over there where Miss Carrie B and Miss Phyllis is standing. Y'all hold your hands. Miss Ginger, three of my fine staff right there. And then Greg, we're going to have a little celebrity auction here, so I want you to make sure that, have you got a number to bid? Okay. Bid, no, have you got a number, a bidder's number? Well, if you don't, we'll make one up. All right, guys, and there'll be a bunch more stuff, and just for you regulars, you know, we're going to start our regular auction just like we always do at 11 o'clock. All right? And with that, everybody knows probably now I'm David Neville with Capstone Produce Market. My job here today is just to welcome you here and make sure you got complimentary ice cream to eat. All right, I'm going to introduce Mr. John Logan Brent, our own Henry County Judge Executive, and he's going to say just a couple of words. Come on up here, John.
Well, David asked me to do the welcome, and I'm not sure I can, I've got a list of all the things this place is. It's the grand opening for the Capstone Produce Market and Auction House. Also, ice cream parlor, firewood distribution center, hay auction place, and pretty good barbecue pit. Right, David?
That's right.
And David will be at the Harvest Showcase tomorrow with barbecue, so we'll be able to sample it. I think it's going to be his first major run, so we'll hope that that word run isn't literal, right?
John Logan, you don't have to tell everything.
One of all these other people on several of them.
Thinking about what I wanted to say briefly. Growing up, I heard the statement a lot, if you're going to talk the talk, you better be ready to walk the walk. And I think I heard that in a few church sermons as a kid, and heard it probably on the playground right before a fight got ready to take place. And then I had a basketball coach that liked to use it a lot. As an adult, I heard a lot of politicians say it, and still do, and it resonates with me. And if you're going to talk the talk, you better be ready to walk the walk. There's another statement we've heard a lot in agriculture the last few years, especially the last 10 years, and that's, they ought to do something. They ought to do something. Well, who is they? Well, I think the culture behind that is because we had the Burley Co-op that took care of us for 60 years. It took care of all of our rural communities, made them prosperous, and it gave our farmers something we could depend on. So we're here today, and they is David Neville. And I'm very grateful for him and for this place because it's something tangible that we can point to. Last year, 283 farmers from 20 different counties sold their product here. Let me say that again. 283 different people from 20 different counties sold here last year. That was the first year. David, do you think you'll beat that this year? What else would you expect? But anyway, that's impact. And so David has stepped up and he is walking the walk. And we have a nice new facility here. The community is very proud of it. I think it's a great thing for Henry County and surrounding communities. And that's all I wanted to say. In addition, I would be remiss if I didn't thank Roger Thomas and the Governor's Office of Ag Policy for their partnership in this facility. That's what those ag development funds were meant for, is to partner in endeavors like this. With that, I know we have several others. I'm excited that Mayor Fisher is here and that he's going to speak to us in a minute. So I'm going to turn it back over to David. Or Steve, are you going to speak next?
I'm Steve Moore, very glad to represent the University of Kentucky Cooperative Extension Service of the College of Agriculture here today. Dave asked us to work on this project some time ago, and that's the kind of forward thinking that I believe has come and made this a reality. Over 2 years ago, we were talking about getting some awareness out of this as a venture. And with that, in September of '09, we had a couple of produce auction type meetings. One in Shelby County, one in Henry County. I believe we had 61 people come out in just Henry County alone. Shelby County had something like 80 people, just looking at the prospect of something new to this region like produce auctioning. So David has been looking at those the short and the intermediate needs. Educationally, he knew also that we needed some short-term goals for the awareness. We also needed some education in marketing. We needed some education in production. And the university has stepped up with those kind of things. In the spring of 2010, we did fruit pruning demonstrations with Dr. John Strang here in the county. Marketing conference was held in December of 2010 in Shelby County. I believe there were 60 plus people over there looking at marketing alone and how to market in a different way. In Henry County, we've had a farmer's market for 17 years. It goes every Saturday morning at the courthouse steps. But we've been marketing to our own people in that regard. And this was a venture to kind of expand those horizons. The Harvest Showcase tomorrow is in its 12th year, and it was a venture started actually with John Logan Brent, our county judge, as an effort to get the folks, Mayor, out of Louisville and out of Shelby County, out of Oldham County, out of all the surrounding regions to come to Henry County. Now this venture is to collect the things that we can grow in this region and get it into those population centers. We've also been working with production items. In February of this year, the 4 authors of this manual, this Bible for horticulture producers in Kentucky, all 4 were here in the building all day. Dr. Kenny Seabold, Dr. Coulong, Dr. Rick Besson, and Dr. John Strang, to give approximately 80 or 90 producers around this area the very best in what's going on. We followed that up, and now there is an extension associate in horticulture office at the Shelby County office. So that's the commitment that the University of Kentucky College of Agriculture has made. Ty, raise your hand back here. And all of the producers need to really look at Ty and get him on your place. He is officed at the Shelby County Extension Office. I'll be glad to help connect you. We've also had a partnership with local folks here that said we want to help, and that came through, Roger, some of the Ag Development Council members. I believe there were 8 different counties in this region that took some of the Phase 1 money that was to come to their county, specifically to their county, and they allowed it to come to Capstone Produce Market. And I'll let Mr. Thomas talk about that in just a second, but the pressure of those folks is on to keep that money in the county. So it's kind of a neat occurrence when folks from other counties would allow money to actually be parked here in Henry County, not in their own counties. So that's a real commitment. Those Ag Development Councils are local folks. There's 8 of them in every council that made that decision. This year there are 9 in every council. We have one of the Henry County council members here today, Reed Moore, over here. And we appreciate their forward thinking on getting something like this started. So with that, I would like to introduce the Executive Director of the Governor's Office of Ag Policy, also one of the fathers of the bill, House Bill 611, that made all of the tobacco settlement money available to the counties and to the state. Roger Thomas.
Thanks, Steve. Good morning. It's a pleasure for me to be here this morning to represent Governor Steve Beshear, his fellow members on the Kentucky Agricultural Development Board, and the Governor's Office of Ag Policy But mainly, Mr. Berry, I'm here to represent the Kentucky Agricultural Development Fund. Who would have thought 11 years ago, when we worked on the legislation, House Bill 611, that we would have projects like this to talk about and to celebrate? I want to congratulate David Neville, Capstone Produce Auction Company, the growers that are a part of this, that the growers, the piece that it takes to make this happen, and the folks that will benefit from it. You know, Steve mentioned the fact that we did put in county funds, I think there was state funds, there was an ag finance low interest loan that's a part of this, all in Kentucky Agricultural Development Funds. And it's important for you to know, aside from the many farmers that participate and benefit from this, that have received Kentucky Agricultural Development Funds as well, there's an entity that's here this morning that's a part of this system, the Kentucky Association of Food Banks. They receive funding from the Ag Development Fund to purchase the produce and to take it to folks that really need help throughout the state. I'm just so pleased that this whole process has the touch of the Kentucky Agricultural Development Fund, Mr. Berry, and I think it's something that you and the many individuals that worked on putting that together can be proud of. We're 11 years into it, and I hope, Mayor, that 11 years from now we can still be talking about the good things that have happened as a result of the Kentucky Agricultural Development Fund. David told me that I couldn't go any longer, that he said 1 minute. The mayor said I could take 2 minutes. I think I've had 3, so I'm going to stop and just say congratulations to everyone that's a part of this. It looks like it's been a wonderful year for watermelons, and I assume you're going to auction some of those off later, David, right? Okay. Now, do I turn this back over to you? Because I'm finished. Congratulations to everyone.
Thank you, Roger, and all the Kentucky Ag Development Board members and the governor and everybody that's been associated with that.